So my name is Ace Ruele, and I'm an actor that specializes in motion capture and creature character development and performance. So what I do is I become a I do the creature development for production nowadays. So therefore I do stuff in regards to doing the production side of things, as in, help with the development. So what's their behavior, how are they going to be, how they perform, the movement and everything. And I do that around my business called Creature Bionics, which has different multiple services, from creating practical effects, so stuff like creature rigs, like the arm extensions of Planets of the Apes or Digilegs, or different equipment to help an actor to be able to get to the climax level of being a creature. So, using everything that we can externally in order to help the actor to perform what they're capable of performing. That's what I do. And around that process as well, there's so many other things that come into that line, from doing workshops with actors and showing them how to use some of our rigs, to doing production MOCAP for hiring out the MOCAP system, where we help to capture motion capture actors in order to get some stuff. So yeah, and a lot of my work has been around, my work as an actor has been around from MOCAP for Legend of Tarzan's, where I play most of the apes and the lions. So if anyone watched Legend of Tarzan and saw that lion scene where he rubs heads with the lions, that was me. Moving on from there, I've done things like Marvel Eternals. I'm featured in the new Marvel Ant-Man, Matrix Revolution, video games such as Daemon 1988, The Impatient, Planet of the Apes VR. I've done quite a few games to name off the top of my head right now. So yeah, so that's what I do. And again, it's a part of the industry where it's not been tampered with. And when I say not been tampered with, I mean in the sense that you have your motion capture actors, you have people who are actors that know how to do motion capture, you have people that know how to do creature, but nobody's ever really taken it to the point where you focus on the character development of the creature and the performance side to it. So you have drama schools, and you have all of these type of different things that are there for the normal acting. And mostly in drama school you might have animal studies. But with Creature Bionics, what we're saying is that we focus solely on creature and fantasy characters. So again, the development of the character, the physicality of the character, the creature rigs it might use, the motion capture process. And we do all of these things just so that the creature character for the production, whether it be a video game or a film, is up to date and up to scratch with what the production is. So that's basically what I do. And carrying on moving from there, things that have basically inspired me to take down this road was from the fact that when I first done my first job as the gorillas for Legend of Tarzan, what made me realize on that production was that humans played creature characters. I didn't know that humans played these creatures CG characters. I thought everything was just CGI, and it was all computer generated. Same with video games. I didn't know actors were people behind the movement on a video game. So Legend of Tarzan basically took me from being just someone who wanted to be an action actor, because that's what I wanted to do, because my martial arts background and movement background, to saying I'm going to do everything around creature and fantasy characters and everything build. That was my first goal. My first goal was just to get into the world of motion capture. Then once I got into motion capture, my next goal was to be known as the person that can deliver the best type of creature acting. And it went from there to developing rigs, developing the arm extensions, because nobody was ever selling them. So I got my first pair made, and then I bought a pair from America, and then I started making my own pairs. And then, not to just be on arm extensions, because that's what Andy Serkis is known for, I said, you know what, I'm going to venture into all the other equipment that's possible for creature development. And basically, that's what I am to today, someone that is known for the creature character development, supplying rigs. I sell equipment, deliver workshops, work on performance, help cast for creatures. And yeah, that's basically what I do in that kind of sense. Carrying it on from there, I would say that the thing for people to see the importance of creature character development, and why I say it's very important, is because most of the films that are number one, most of the films that are number one in this genre, most of the films that are number one in this genre of film is films that require creature characters or creature performance and stuff. So why do we have all of these films like Avengers that have VFX slash creatures, Pirates of the Caribbean, Avatar? We have all of these characters who are creature slash fantasy characters, but we don't have any set training or organization that focuses on bringing the best performance out of them. And that's basically why I came up with Creature Bionics, and that's my journey with the plan, basically, in a long story short.
I love that. I think that's really neat. It's rough. You have to be super athletic to be able to in all those odd positions and stay that way for hours on end.
Yeah, you know what? Again, I'm one of those people where I believe anybody can do anything. I have that kind of open mindset in the sense that, it just takes, for me, it just takes people to have a persistent and purpose in order to be able to do something. So when I do what I do, I don't think it's something where others are unattainable to reach, or it might be harder. Yeah, it might be harder for someone because they haven't got a plan and a focus around it. And yeah, of course, fitness level comes into it. But if someone turned around and was like me, in the sense that I want to know how to become the best in this field, then you will find a way. And that's what I've basically done. And in the sense that my purpose of wanting to be the best, and not just be the best for my ego's sake, but be the best so I can then use that space of recognition to be able to put forward Creature Bionics and show how important it is to care about the creature and fantasy characters more than just VFX. Because a lot of projects might just focus on VFX. We just do the VFX side of things, just put the mocap suit on, and we'll just VFX everything. Where I'm like, you know what? If you want to give an actor a real something really more realistic to respond to or respond from, then
Yeah.
we should add the practical side to it. We should do everything we can to our capability of making that actor as much so much close to the skeleton of that creature or
Yes.
fantasy character that's able to play. And again, in response, so let's say you're responding to a dinosaur, rather than just have somebody, back in the day with Stan Winston school, they'll have the animatronics dinosaurs. They don't
Yep.
do that as much now, probably because the cost and time, and VFX basically splits the time and everything. But for me, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
I've got a simpler solution where, yes, it's not, I won't be a full dinosaur, but if I put on my digilegs and I have a puppet head dinosaur, it will give the actor something more to respond to rather than me just running in a gray suit. So I'm Creature Bionics is always thinking about the actor, like the actor slash actress. That's the main purpose. We're giving them something real to respond to, or we're giving them something that they can perform from that brings them closer to that character. And that's what Creature Bionics is about. Because I'm an actor and I've done it and I've seen what can be done, that's what Creature
Yeah.
Bionics is for. Yeah, like, again, and that's what I'm doing what I'm doing because I've worked on sets and seen how it is. So
Yeah.
I know from first hand how beneficial what I'm doing can be. And all it really is about making every single production understand that. So, I know a lot of people do understand that from the connections I have on LinkedIn and the jobs I've done, but I need it to be that it's understood. And it's one of those businesses where I have to convince them by what I'm doing, because for them, of course, it's an additional cost, but at the same time, not well. Then again, it's not really an additional cost because what I'm basically offering could save the amount of VFX needed, in general, because of using what I have as reference makes it easier, so they don't have to imagine from their own head and stuff like that. And you can save in regards to the previs, you can save in previs. So for what I'm bringing towards to the industry is something that can be, one, it enhances the performance, and two, it can be something that saves some money in regards to what might be needed for the production.
Absolutely. We need that. We really do. We need that right now in the media industry. What has been one of the most that you've worked on, or not?
One
What's
one
been
of
your worst
my
job?
worst job. To be fair, I don't I don't really have a worst job. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't really have a worst job. I think my worst jobs, and this is being real, my worst jobs are when I'm on a production and I'm not being used in the way that I know can be used. That's probably so.
Yeah.
I can see things that I know I could do something, but you're paid to do something specific, and you have to wait until it's your time to go and do it. I think those are my worst. Yeah, I don't worst. There's nothing worse, but those are the experiences for me. I'm like, oh, why am I even here? What's just the point
Yeah.
of it? And the money's good, so you're like, oh yeah. At first, you're like, oh. Normally, when you get a job, Well, before now, you get a job, you look at the money, you're like, oh, okay, that money is gonna be good money. Then you get on the job, and then if it wasn't for meeting other stunt actors and stuff like that, a lot of the time you'll just be just waiting, on your phone, reading or whatever it is, because I just sometimes think it's a process that when I'm on a production and I see certain things and I'm like, and film is different from video game. Video game, you can speak to the animation director, you can have an influence, you can have an input, what I'm saying. Whereas with film, you're there's only so much you can suggest and
Yeah.
offer up,
Yeah.
so I feel like those productions where I've not been able to do so, and I can see that it'll be much more beneficial if I do something else, or if something was added, or if they done this and that. Those are probably the jobs that, again, they're the jobs that created part of creation of Creature Bionics, but they're the jobs that now I kind of like stay away from. Like the check would have to be so good, and so good, and I've got nothing really going on, or it's so good, and I know this is going to be beneficial for the credit that I gain from it. But yeah, those
Yeah.
are probably
Yeah.
because I haven't had any bad experience like on set. No injury, no stuff. It's just being on a production and we're shooting in a month's time, but the character development hasn't been done yet. And you're thinking to yourself, geez, what the hell? What are you talking about? They're filming in a month's time. Why is this not done? And that's why whenever I do get into producing myself, I'm just gonna follow the what I used to do for theater. For theater, everything is done before, cast, from the cast. Then your rehearsals, you rehearse, you rehearse. So when you come to filming, when everything's a go. Not to say things can't, go wrong because of stuff, but not where actors are coming and just reading parts of their script on the set before, or we still haven't discovered who's going to play that character or the personality of that character. That should all be done prior to filming. So yeah, they're probably like the most least enjoyable experiences I have on the set. I remember someone saying, and I can't remember who it was, and they just said look, the people that are making these films, they're just a bunch of investors. You know, they're just trying to get the film out. That it's an investment for them. They're not going to be so deep into the character development and this and that and this and that. You know, they just get the best director, get the best actors, get the best director, get the big name actors, and think, okay, you know, we're investing in these people, we're investing in this title, so this should bring it for us. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
that's why you don't have as many films. You know, I don't know if I don't know if you've seen uh, The Quiet Place. If you've seen The Quiet Place, like when
Hmm.
you look at The Quiet Place, for
Yeah.
me, that was quality, you know,
Oh, so quality.
quality
Absolutely.
from first one
Absolutely.
to
And
second one. And, you know, and it's been a long time that a sequel has been as good or better, you know,
hmm
and you know
exactly.
something different. You know, they took a risk. I don't know if it's based on a book, but it was something different. It wasn't something that everybody knew about, you know, and so it's just like for me, I hope they keep that because then when you know how it goes, people have that. And if you think about films from back in the days, from Terminator 1, Terminator 2, you know, all of these films that when they do super good, super financially well, now it's just like, oh, let's make another one because we expect people to come to it now because, you know, rather than, you know what, let's make another one that's going to blow these people's mind. Come on, we need to top that. We're not making this film unless we are able to write something that tops that. No film is being made. That that's what we need in those board meetings where the investor with the 100 million, 300, 400 million is like, listen, we still want to make the best rather than, okay, I'm putting this money in, make sure you get these people on board because they're going to help me sell the film. So yeah. And the more, and again, everybody kind of starts like that, you know, they start like that, and not many remain that way. Not many remain that way in making sure that this storyline for this film, the sequels to these films that have done so well, we need to make sure that they do that. And you know, Star Wars is probably one that some might agree with and some might disagree. I'm not a deep Star Wars fan, but with Star Wars, I feel like yes, there's money, but I feel like they will do their best to try and keep the fans happy because those Star Wars fans are religious fans, you know,
They're religious. That's
they're religious
very well.
fans, you know, they're religious fans. They're religious fans, and I feel like one thing that's great about that is that I believe that they will try their best to keep those religious fans happy. You know, they will do their best. You know, and again, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so a lot of Star Wars people might disagree, and so, but I feel like I can't remember what happened, but one time the Star Wars people complained about something and something got changed. Like that's how influential that they are, you know. So it's just like it's about if you keep the fact is what investors should understand is if you keep the fans happy, money's gonna come anyway.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You keep the fans happy,
exactly.
money gonna come. So there's no point thinking about how can we make more money. It's about how can we keep these people happy? How can we make them want to come back and watch this twice? You know, how can we make them
Yeah,
want to come back and watch it three times? You know, how can we make them want to tell their friend that, oh my God, this was such a great film? You know, that's what they should be focused on. And I think, and that's why I believe films that should have done good haven't done good because that energy is not there. That energy
yeah,
is not in the meetings, in the rooms. It might be down to the very actor, you know what I'm saying? But even sometimes the actor may not be on it. The actor might just be seeing it as another job. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
They're not seeing it as, look, I really need to have this and this done before I can perform. You know, so when your actors are comfortable because they're famous and they know they're just here and they're here to just do what they came to do, and everyone's on that, I'm here to do what I came to do. We need to make this film rather than listen. Let's try and make this every film we produce. We need to make it the best film every year. We're trying to win the Oscars. We're trying to get every single person to want to come. We're trying to get no one to dislike it, which is impossible. But in your work towards that, and your whole core team is working towards that, you're going to produce something of that kind. Rather than if everything's based on money, there's going to be a level that you're probably not going to reach that you could have. Yeah. So yeah, to really get to me on a professional way, it's either through LinkedIn, Ace Ruele, or I would say go to creaturebionics.com, because if you go to creaturebionics.com, you'll see all the services that are there and that are possible to help a production or to speak about and everything. So creaturebionics.com is the best place in regards to work. If you just want to, see, if you want to see my what I post about, especially on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, as you know, actually I post a lot of material in regards to what I do, which won't be on my website because it's part of like my marketing strategy, shall I say, with the materials that I post. So yeah, LinkedIn is to see what I do, and creaturebionics.com is to find all the services and to work with me and my team and anybody that needs any creature or fantasy characters developed or performed as, or anything from motion capture to rigs being built. We own motion capture XNs, who I'm an ambassador for XNs, and all the rigs that are developed directly through us as well. So anybody that feels like they need anything for their fantasy or creature characters, then creaturebinance.com, or find Ace Ruele, ACE Ruele on LinkedIn. I would say those are the best places to find me. And yeah, like I hope that what I was basically saying, and when people are listening back to this, is that they understand that I'm working for the creatures and fantasy characters to be focused upon and to be taken as being a part of the film, as important as any other character. And a lot of the times people look at the characters that are in the background and not so much as one of the main leads. They're just left for VFX. But again, I believe if you're having any form of character that can be played by a human being, then you should definitely put development on it. If you're having a character that cannot be played by a human being at all, and it's puppetry, or it's just going to be completely VFX and just be voiced over, then that's more understandable. But even so, even if you're going to do something VFX only, animation wise, what my company does will still give the tools to be able to find the reason and purpose behind the character's walk and animation and movement. So these are the things why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm really passionate about, and it's just something that's going to just happen until I keel over and I'm burnt to dust and spread throughout the universe. So I hope that what I'm doing, if you want to support, you can give me all your money. No, I'm joking. If you want to support and just see what we're doing realistically, just and just come see what we do at creaturebionics.com. Go into LinkedIn, type my name in there, and you'll find resources and stuff that I do, especially reference material videos. If you're an animator and you need some reference material of creature movement because you might have a fantasy character, I've got reference materials of me doing stuff on my equipment, so you can use my reference videos as a way of putting the work out there. You can use a reference material as a way of prompting an idea on how to have your character move, and you can do that. You can go to the YouTube, Creature Bionics YouTube, where there's quite a good amount of reference videos, and you can find stuff there as well that will help towards creating some imagination for what kind of movement you can put onto your character. And I do special packages in regards to if somebody wants specific videos. I always get that word wrong. Specific videos where they need specific videos for their character content as well as motion capture. Then yeah, that's something that I am capable of doing and delivering. So it's just all about creaturebionics.com. That's what it's all about. Creaturebionics.com. Go check it out. Go see what I do. Go see what we do. And yeah, that's what it is for. So I hope that people take this little interview and understand my passion for the world of creatures and fantasy characters. No, you know what? No, 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 not at all. Again, everyone, I don't know the audience that might be listening. It could be from the industries, it could be not be out, but yeah, man, just take it as out. The only thing I'll say for anybody that might be getting into the industry, find your niche, find your niche,
Yeah.
do what do what people don't expect you to do. Go against your stereotype. And I say that because I am a black actor, but I could have played, the stereotype gangster roles and stuff like that because it's easy. But I stepped away from doing anything like that. And because I do something that's outside of what's the normal for a black actor, it stands out more. And, find your niche. And people might think that, everything's done. Trust me, everything is not done. Like everything is not done.
Yeah.
Like create like the film industry's been going on for how many years, and this company I've started is the first of its kind. So there's still things out there for people. And I always tell people that make sure you have the skill, the branding. People forget about branding. Branding is so important. Make sure you have your branding, the skill, and the personality. Branding gets you seen, skill gets you the job, personality gets you the next job. That's what I live by, you know. So
That's
you got to
so good. That should be on a t-shirt.
yeah, that's what I do. And that's what I believe. Brandon gets you seen, that's how you would have seen me. And then, the skills made you feel you done your research. Okay, now I'm here. And personality makes it okay for us to have the talk and for you to and if you ever heard someone talk about creatures, you'd be like, oh, Ace. But if I was an ass and someone's talking about creature fantasy characters, you wouldn't want to bring my name up. So all of these elements are important. But I just tell people, man, just get out, think from the perspective of an asset, not a product, from an asset and how you can add value to the industry. That's how I think. When I was thinking as an actor and just trying to get into mocap, just trying to be booked, I was not getting booked as much as when I decided to think, how can I add value to the whole mocap VFX industry as an actor? How can I add value? And that's what Creature Bites has done, is adding value to the industry. And because of that, I've been working a lot more. So anybody that's listening, that's starting out new, whether from animation, VFX, as an actor, I would say think about what you can do that can add value to the industry. Look at yourself as an asset, not a product. Because an asset, because people, why should people invest in you? What can you do, and what are you so good at that people should invest in you when they could go to somebody else? That's what I do. Get yourself in a position where it's hard to fire you. If it's hard, it would be hard. I'm not saying I can't be replaced. I can never say that, but there's certain things that I've put myself in a position where if you were to fire me, it would be hard to replace. And that's just because of the amount of things that I offer. As an actor, people can do what I do. But when I come as an actor and I bring my own mocap equipment and I bring my own creature rigs and I bring my own all of these things, it's just like you get so much for just one person. So make yourself an asset. The bigger the asset, the more people will want to invest. Do things that are outside the box, or do things that are different from your stereotype. Find your niche, work on your branding. Please, people, work on branding. Some people have such great skills, but their
Yeah.
branding is just not connected. So you could be so great, but if no one sees you, so find ways to be branding. And yeah, I would say those are the main things, to my last things to say.